Hey, everybody. Welcome to Heavy Friending. It's me, Joe Barlow.
And I'm your best friend, Laura Lee Bishop. Not the listener's best friend, your best friend, Joe.
Okay. It sounds like we're reading a script, but we're not.
Let's do that.
Actually, you know what? It would probably be better if we read a script because we would keep to the point. But one thing we like to do is welcome you to the show. Thank you for tuning in. Please, hey, take a moment to subscribe to the show.
And take a moment to breathe. Take a moment to just get in the zone.
Yeah.
Let's let the stress melt away.
Because this show is an anti-stress, and this is proven by the FDA.
Oh, yeah.
That it is anti-stress.
Yes.
You got hormones? This show will help you. I don't know.
It will. It'll help you.
Okay.
And let me tell you a little bit what this show is, first of all.
I'd love to hear.
And for you first-time listeners, stop. Really, you should stop. Go back to the first episode because you're going to be so confused. You're going to say, these two people, they've known each other forever, obviously. They're best friends. They probably are always calling and texting each other.
The answer is no to that.
No, they're not. Yeah. She texts him and he doesn't respond.
Sometimes I do like K.
Yeah, you do. Or you send me an emoji. It's so annoying.
Emoji's better than K. We all agree.
But I send you a lot of texts in a row, too. So that's partly my fault.
That's on you. Yeah, long ones. Too long.
Real long.
Too long.
Yeah, too long. But, if you go back to the beginning, you're going to see that this is an evolution. We are two strangers who met.
On a whim.
And we decided to start this podcast on a whim. To see if we could become friends. And here we are, months and months later. And we're working on a real friendship
here. And it feels like years to some of us. So on today's episode, we're continuing the friendship train. And we're seeing what's going to be at the next stop. And I'll tell you.
How do you find out what's going to be at the next stop?
Oh, I get it.
Other than talking to maybe somebody's got a precognitive abilities?
Yeah.
A psychic, perhaps?
Yes, that's what's happening
Saul
right
Ravencraft.
Here today.
Saul Ravencraft is here, folks.
Saul Ravencraft. It's a name you want to say.
You do, don't you?
And I will again.
Say it, we will.
Saul Ravencraft.
Yeah.
The Ravencraft gets me.
He's a local Austin paranormal entertainer, folks.
Yeah. And you might be asking yourself, hey,
paranormal entertainer?
Who?
Saul.
What the hell?
Yeah.
But don't worry. Don't be afraid. Well, I am a little afraid.
We're both afraid, yeah.
Because I've never done anything like this.
Me either.
But I will say, I think Saul is a good candidate for our first time.
Yeah, he has a trunk of mysterious objects.
His name is, again, Saul Ravencraft.
Yeah.
And I think he has kind eyes.
Oh, that's nice.
Thank you.
Yeah. Well, stay tuned. He's going to do our numbers, read our palms, and do cards.
That's all coming up right now as we join us.
Yeah. Saul Ravencraft. Play that music, Laura.
This is heavy friending. I'm friending you so hard. An alliance slowly forming like a boulder in my heart. So if you wanna fucking friend me, better give me all you got. No, I don't take this lightly, cause it's heavy, heavy friendly. There is an eagle flying.
Hey, frienders, we're here. We're back.
Yes.
We're with Saul Ravencraft.
Hello.
And we're so excited and scared and anxious and nervous.
Don't be scared.
Well, I'm at peace now because Saul just talked us through. He grounded us.
He did ground us.
And in a good way, not in a, you're grounded. Young man, go to your room. That's why I'm talking in this more pleasant voice, because I'm influenced by Saul's voice.
You're not as shrill as usual.
I get so shrill.
Oh, yeah. I know. It hurts me.
If I hung out with Saul, if we became close friends.
You're starting to get back into it, though.
Oh, I got to remember my roots.
Yeah, calm down.
And my branches.
Yes.
I'm a tree. I'm a beautiful tree. We should let Saul say something.
Yeah, tell us a little bit about yourself, Saul.
Well, sure. My name is Saul Ravencraft.
Is that your real name?
It is my true name.
Ooh.
Oh, I like that.
I love that answer. He looked at me and I just froze. I was like, okay, I believe you.
I'm a paranormal entertainer is what I call myself. I think that our curiosity about all of the strange, odd, and unusual is fun, and it should be fun. We should explore and live in the Twilight Zone anytime we choose. I have a theatrical background. I'm a storyteller, and all of this sort of combined together into something that I try to take people down the rabbit hole a little bit. Somewhere along the way, as I was researching and playing with these ideas, sort of in a comic book attitude, where it was intended to be a little outrageous and just crazy fun. It was all, haunted house, spook house kind of attitude there. I started connecting with other ideas. I started reading things about magical beliefs and deeper into some of these paranormal experiences that people had. And I started going, well, wait a minute. No, you're getting too serious here. Right?
This is probably hitting really close to home for you with Harry Potter.
What's that?
And just how you're connected there to that world, Joe.
I'm not. That's a fictional world.
Okay, well.
And that was the assumption that I made about the things I was dealing with.
Hold on, Saul. What are you saying?
Yeah, see?
I came...
Are you saying Hogwarts is real?
Well, you're Slytherin.
Well, I am, but...
Ooh, hey.
Hey, Saul!
We got two I'm Gryffindor, so...
Well, of course you are.
Yeah. Yeah, Saul!
I take that as a compliment.
Saul and I are starting a spin-off podcast called
Slytherin Through Life.
Okay,
Yeah.
That is good.
It's good.
So
Don't steal it.
I got involved in, I was doing research into a lot of these things. I was digging into original sources for ideas about magic, things that actually lie under some of the material that was used to create the Harry Potter universe. And some of the stuff she talks about in there is connected.
You're blowing my mind.
to actual practices.
Yeah.
But it's all covered in clown makeup for the masses, and a lot of it doesn't connect exactly the way that she talks about, but enough of it is connected that you recognize it. Mm-hmm. But I started getting to a point where I assumed all of this was. I was skeptical. I was very arrogantly skeptical. And I was more in the debunking attitude.
I got a little of that in me, I think.
I think the skeptics are the people I'm more interested to hear from a former skeptic than someone who was always like on board the whole time.
Well,
so I like hearing that.
I started digging a little deeper, and I started exploring and experimenting, and stuff began to happen. And weird stuff happened, like people would just come out of the blue and start to connect with me. I had people that I knew that were in the pagan universe there that suddenly started looking at me and going, "Hey, I didn't know you were." I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Oh." And it's, I don't know, it's like the witchy version of gaydar, I guess.
Okay, cool.
You can detect, you're a believer.
Well, yeah, they saw something different in me. And then I eventually had people...
What are you detecting in us, though?
Oh.
Are you seeing, is there an instant...
Well, I'll say I've got it.
Oh, you don't have it.
I don't know. I guess I do on some level, but not like that. It's not something that I've really tried to cultivate or pay attention to. I still feel like I'm so far behind on things. But I started having people that I thought were players look at me and say, "Well, you're doing things." I'm like, "No, I'm not." And then they started to point out how I was. And I had one lady that sat me down and said, "Okay, you need to start doing this on purpose or someone's going to get hurt."
Okay,
like,
this is a little...
You should be scared. Is your gaydar going off right now at all either, though? Just to...
But it just caused me to take a whole other perspective. And so, that inadvertently fed back into my entertainment. Some of the stuff that I thought was kind of zany wasn't anymore. But there's also a side where you open doors. Mm-hmm. And the doors don't care whether or not you believe in them.
Wow.
Whoa.
Right?
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, me neither.
And so you play with stuff.
Yeah.
Think of it about metaphysical cultural appropriation.
Whoa.
You know?
I mean, I
There's
just,
a lot of layers
the
going
words you're saying, I'm just
Yeah.
like, it takes me like a few seconds to process exactly like what's being said. And believe me, I'm versed in the Harry Potter verse.
And this is a podcast for intelligent people. You're talking to two highly intelligent
well, you may have heard
people.
of the Harvard of Central Iowa. And that's where I went to school.
Sure.
It's Drake University. I mean, you were going to say it. So
No.
Oh, thank you.
Wait.
He wasn't going to say it.
Okay. So, Saul, what are we going to do here? Because before we met, you asked for our names and our birthdays, right?
Right. So
He knows someone at the federal agency.
My taxes are not looking good.
So I do couple readings, and I know you're not like a couple, but any two people are
But kind
a
of,
couple,
right?
Right?
I offered you water when you walked into this
You
home,
did.
like
You
I lived
did.
here.
We
yeah.
shared water.
Yes. Oh,
Wow.
Do you know that
Is
reference?
Saul, I'm so bad at references, honestly. But what is
Stranger in a Strange Land, Robert Heinlein.
this guy's a smart guy. I don't know his
I thought it was like a
references.
sex thing or something.
Laura, not in front
You
of
should
our
read
guests.
Stranger in a Strange Land.
Okay. sounds like my cup of tea.
I feel like sometimes when Saul looks at me, I feel like he can really see me, and then I get a little
And you
nervous.
get scared.
Yeah.
Don't
Yeah.
be scared.
Okay.
Don't be scared.
All right.
So when your goal is to look at different things about yourselves and how those things connect in a sort of a harmony, right? Harmonies are made up of two distinct notes or more distinct notes, right? Some notes go together, some notes don't. Sometimes you have a jazz chord.
Ooh.
And the jazz chord
I
is...
hope we're that. I hope we're a jazz chord.
The
Yeah.
jazz chord doesn't necessarily sound nice on its own, but in the right context and then used correctly, it can be beautiful, right? So whenever I do couple readings, the
I
first
love
thing
that
I
you're
do...
calling us a couple. I just want to say that.
Well, I
I'm
think-
loving it.
Yeah.
It's great.
Whenever I do couple readings, what I do is I look at different qualities of the people involved and look at them as individuals first. And then we look at the combinations of what those things say.
Okay, we're ready, I think.
All right. So the first thing we're going to look at is numbers. Numerology was where I began my trip down the rabbit hole.
Oh my gosh, I'm so excited because I've never had my numbers done.
Yeah. So I've got the numbers
Oh my
here.
God.
We're going to take a quick peek at your palms. Palms are going to tell us. We're not going to go deep
His
into
are
the
clammy,
palms.
Mine
though,
are
just so
wet.
you know.
Yeah.
They're
That's-
always wet.
I
so
deal with all
He has hand
kinds.
sanitizer.
Does
so.
wet mean something, Saul?
Well, again, it depends on what you do with it.
Oh, see, he does a lot with that. He's used it to his advantage,
Your
I'm
Honor.
sure.
No, I mean,
Okay.
But we're not going to go very deep into the palms. We're going
Okay.
to do very, very top surface kind of thing there. To me, in all of this, there's no good or bad, right? It's like electricity. You can use electricity to cook a sandwich or cook a person,
Oh, well,
Right.
they've done it.
but the electricity is
Jeffrey Dahmer
Just a
said
tool.
it was the leg meat on a man was too tough to even chew.
did he?
He did.
Do you
yeah.
believe that, Saul?
His apartment smelled like chitlins.
Yeah.
That's what his neighbors said.
Yeah, he needed to marinate.
We smell like chitlins. Isn't that terrible?
I just feel like your two knowledge bases are just over my head.
Isn't it interesting the areas where she and I overlap and the areas where you and I overlap?
It is.
See?
It
We're
is.
like one of those color charts where the colors go together in certain areas.
Whoa.
The red, the blue, and the yellow.
We're like
Whoa.
we're like
I
a
bet
rainbow.
We
We're-
are.
You know what? We're a jazz chord.
Oh,
the
man.
three of us.
Let's hit a note right now. 1, 2, 3. Oh, come on, guys. We're on to something here.
I don't know.
Okay, so we're doing
All right.
palms. We're doing numbers.
And I've got cards here because basically these get into sort of fixed indicators. I mean, hands change, right? So if I looked at your palm now and looked at your palm a year from now, there might be different stuff there, right? So your numbers are pretty much going to be static, right? Your birth date's not going to change.
Well, mine changes every year. It gets a little bit later. Pretty soon I'll be in the.
What?
It'll be like 95. I just lie about my age. Is what I'm saying.
I see.
Good for you. Good for you.
But I didn't lie to you.
Okay, I appreciate
I didn't
that.
lie to you.
I will not share the
Thank you
numbers
so
that you
much.
gave me.
Thank you.
Well, you are one of the most, the brightest looking 20-year-olds I have ever met.
Ooh.
Thank you so much. I know I'm like look a little bit younger than that. People tell me, but you know, it's thank you very much.
I'd cast you at 18.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
All right. So in the numbers, the first number that we look at, who do you want to focus on first?
Well,
Let's do Laura.
Okay, but let me ask this question.
All
If
right.
you see something bad, are you going to tell us? Are you going to
So
be
there's no
100%
bad.
honest with us?
There's no bad.
There is no bad.
Okay.
But there are challenges. Right?
Okay.
So it depends on where you're pointed and what your goals are.
Okay.
Right? And there can be sort of a misinterpretation of where you're pointed. Right? What I find most often when I do readings with people is I'll talk to someone who has certain energies, certain impulses that are indicated that are perfectly normal for them, but they've been taught their whole life that that's wrong. For example, an air person is generally driven more by curiosity. They don't mind chaos. Right? That's the definition of basically a Renaissance person. Curious about anything, try almost anything once, do 15 things together. That's their energy. Now imagine being raised by someone whose energy was earth. They said everything needs to be stable, everything needs to be logical, everything needs to go in the right order, and you must check everything off the list. Or you're wrong, or you're lazy. Right? Well, someone has been carrying that around in their head their whole life, looks at everything that is natural to them and goes, I'm messed up.
Jeffrey Dahmer could have probably benefited from a reading. I mean, really. He was just curious.
Well, someone
guys.
just should have introduced into bacon a lot earlier.
Something was.
Something. So just looking at your numbers here, I went with your full name. And the first thing we do is we take the numbers from your birth date and we compute those. The process is not complicated. This is something that goes back to Pythagoras. And the concept is you just take the digits, you add them together, and you'll get a number. If that number is more than one digit, you add those together. And you keep doing that until you get a single digit, which would be between 1 and 9. So all the numbers we work with are between 1 and 9. Now, your life path number, which is sort of the key that your life is in, all right?
I'm getting excited.
Is an 8.
Whoa.
Oh, I love the number 8. I'm cool with that.
8 is very much connected with resource and resourcefulness. 8s are, the number 8 is
I've been called an 8 a lot too, so it makes sense.
The number 8 is an economist, right? Economy is not about money, although often we look at it that way, but it's about being able to work with what you have, work with what's available, to know if you have enough, what you need, how to work within your means there.
What's your number, your life path number?
My life path number is 1.
Number 1.
So the expression number, this number comes from your full name. This is how you express yourself outwardly. This is what people see when they see you. And that number is a 9. Now, 9s are...
I've been called a 9 too. I mean, it's uncanny.
Well, and that's as high as the scale goes in numerology.
See, I mean,
right?
makes sense.
Tens don't exist in
Is there a
numerology.
0? It's just 1 through 9? Or?
1 through 9 is what we work with.
Okay.
So your expression number is a 9. 9 is how people regard you. And 9s are very much about the bigger picture, very much about leaving the world better than they found it. Very much about looking at the global family as opposed to the personal family. Now, that's mostly what people see with you. You're more complex than that, right? Soul Urge number, that number just, we use the vowels in your name to compute that, is a 3. 3 is very much connected with creation. You have a deep inner need to create. And
That's true.
That is true.
You couldn't not create.
That's true.
It would make you too weird if
I
you tried.
think that's true as well.
Yeah.
Whoa, you should be weirder?
Oh, man.
Wow.
My fairy dragon thing would get out of control probably.
I'd be
Yeah.
interested to see.
I keep that. It's upstairs in the bedroom. I don't let you see that.
So the personality number, that's the number that deals, that is sort of how do you manifest with everything here, how you bring these things together, is the number 6. And 6 is very hearth and home, very, very turned toward the inside. So it's interesting that you have the 6, which is more
The
internal.
6 and the 9, is that what you're referring
Well,
to?
but the six is more with what is close to you
Mm-hmm.
and the need to protect and nurture that, but also that 9, which is what most people see. So people who know you may not be aware of how fiercely you protective you are of your home and your family and all of that kind of thing.
Joe knows.
They assume that you're all for the community, and the truth is that if push came to shove,
Yeah.
she would kill.
I'll kill you ass.
circle the wagons.
That's right.
The final number that we look at here is the birthday number, which for you is basically the number for your birthday, right? And yours is 11.
11.
Whoa.
Right.
It goes up to 11. That's a
And
quote.
that is the date of your birth,
It goes
right?
up to
The day of your birth.
It goes up to 31, I'm thinking. Yes, that's correct.
And while the birthday number has probably the least influence over everything, the 11 is an interesting number. It's what we call a master number.
Oh, makes sense.
And,
Makes perfect sense.
When we reduce that down, it becomes a 2, which is very much about connection, collaboration, the need to connect with others.
Oh,
You hear that?
That's true.
11s have that drive. They have that pull. They see the mountain that they need to climb, but they are constantly distracted.
That's me, man.
They have the big premise. They have the big drive. They have that thing that keeps pulling them along, but they are constantly pulled away from it. It's 2 steps forward, 1 step back. 2 steps forward, 3 steps over to this side. Now, if you think that you're driven to accomplish the goal, then you are constantly frustrated as an 11. If you understand that it's not the destination, it's the journey, and you can let that stuff go a little bit, then you can get a lot from that 11 experience.
My therapist says that all the time.
Well,
It's the journey.
you just need Saul in your life.
That's true.
So those are the basic numbers
Okay.
there. Do you
Lot
have
of
any
insight
questions
there.
about what I said there?
No, I feel like it seems uncanny, really, in a lot of ways. It's interesting. I also think it's interesting that my sister is a 22, and my sister just graduated from medical school, and she's like the most driven. Like she
is a 22. You know that?
My sister.
Okay, that's wonderful. Is that her life path number?
That one that you said.
her birth number. All right. Now we look at the birthday. That's really sort of the toolbox that you have to work with. So her tools are a lot more organized.
They're very organized.
yours.
They're so organized,
And
and
they're
if you
sharp and
unorganize them, then
'Cause she's
you
a
better watch
dentist.
out. Yep,
Yeah.
she's
And
you
your
gotta watch out.
your tools are good tools, but they're a little mix
Little
and match.
rusty, little
And not necessarily neatly
Definitely not.
assembled, but they're still good tools,
Thank you.
right? And it's just a matter of understanding the difference between the styles of work that you're driven to. Do you want to look at your palm right now? Or you want to do his numbers
Let's
first?
do Joe's numbers now. I'm very excited to hear.
All right. So
Big moment.
I love the number 6 and the number 2, so hopefully he'll say that's just for you, Laura.
Okay.
Saul, don't listen right now.
Yeah, okay.
I should have said that
Number
before
6
I
and
whispered.
number 2.
Yeah,
Okay.
those are my favorites. So let's see if they come
Okay.
up. Actually, my birth number is 26. So
Okay. Wow.
so it's kind of in
kind
there.
of there. It's a 2 and a 6.
Yeah. Anyway, but I do love those numbers.
Okay.
Saul, hi.
hello. So when we look at your numbers, your life path number is a 22.
What?
Oh.
Your sort of foundational number is one of those master numbers.
Wow,
which
I didn't
means
know it went
that you
up to
are
that.
driven. You are driven. You've got big visions. You got big ideas. You got a lot of potential. And if you settle, if you devote yourself to going in that direction, to going where you feel led, as opposed to what you're told you're supposed to be, then that 22 energy can do some amazing stuff. If you're not on that path, right? If you are trying to mold yourself based on other images, then you're always going to be knocked off of that track as it keeps trying to point you back where you're supposed to go.
Wow. Okay.
Your expression number, the way people look at you, is a 9. So you tend to have that
We're both 9s?
you have that
Interesting.
outward impression of being very big picture, being very outward looking, very community facing. Your soul urge number, that's where you get very interesting. Your soul urge number,
I'm excited to hear Saul say that.
that's that number that is sort of driving you underneath, is an 11. The key that your life is in, sort of that foundation there, is very driven, very pointed toward a specific vision, toward specific accomplishments. And that energy underneath it, inside, is a little more uneven, right? So you have within your numbers both that sort of golden boy and that sort of challenged side.
A fuck up is what he's saying, I think.
This is great. I feel like he's really actually describing me like really well.
Well, it means that
This
you
is how
are
I
dealing
feel,
constantly
honestly, yeah.
with levels of conflict.
I am. Oh God. Yeah.
And what you feel driven to do, I would imagine that you second guess yourself a lot.
Yeah. I think that's the hands, the clamminess. It's always a fear. Yes.
I've not seen one that had those two elements sort of pressing on each other like that. And that's interesting too.
I'm unique.
You
Oh,
are.
yeah.
You're very unique.
This is why.
Your personality number, that is sort of the expression number is the outside of your face. Your personality number is the inside of your face. Think of it that way.
Okay.
Right? It's what's really on the inside. Is a 7. And 7 is very much...
I've been called a 7.
Really?
On a good day.
That's reaching.
Right after my spray tan.
Yeah,
I look
yeah.
really good.
Well, and 7 is the number of deeper thinking. It's the number, it's the academic number. It's the number of deep knowledge. It is the wizard's number.
Well, hello.
Right? The seventh
There we
son
go.
of a seventh son was supposed to be someone very powerful there. And so that 7 energy is there. That means that you can't...
What about the 7th daughter of a 7th daughter? Did we get left out of that phrase? Or
In official lore, yeah, you did.
makes
right?
sense and with the way the world works.
Because
but
dudes wrote the
Yeah,
books,
yeah.
right? But I will tell you that the 7th daughter of a 7th daughter would be very powerful.
Okay. Yeah, and he's not here to
well, I'm
like,
just
to debate
I'm
this.
just asking questions.
this is good.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. It is 2018.
Yeah, I mean, it's time for the 7th daughter of a 7th daughter to get her voice and
Betcha.
to be heard.
You betcha.
What about just
So what that means for you, Joe, is that you that 7 energy means that you can't ever look at anything just on its surface. You are always going to have to go a little deeper. You are always going to want to ask the inconvenient questions. And it means that when you get into an area that interests you, that genuinely interests you, you have a tendency to just do deep dives in it. You don't just look at what you don't just look at the executive
You
summary.
should see his browser history. It's
You
I go
get
deep,
a lot
yeah.
of deep dives.
deep into it and get as hands on as you can with what it is you want to learn.
grow up.
I can't.
Okay.
I can't. It's impossible.
Now your birthday number is an 8.
What? I thought it was 26.
Right, but when we take the 2 and the 6 and we add those numbers together,
8.
we get an 8. 26 is not a master number, so we keep going.
Gotcha. So I haven't had a 2 or a 6. Those are I like those numbers.
Well, so your soul urge, that 11 actually does reduce to a 2.
God bless.
Right?
Thanks. See, works
And
out.
the life path reduces to a 4. So
Ew.
they have a dual.
I
They
hate
have a
those.
dual reality there, where the 22 is sort of this drive, but that 4 number is all about work. It's all about craftsmanship. It's all about detail. When you do connect with something that's important to you, you do all the detail work, and you don't let something go until it's right.
Is that true, Joe?
That is true.
I mean,
but
looking
he
at
said,
you,
he
it
said,
doesn't
he
seem
said
like-
the key phrase, though, which is when I find something that I care about.
Yeah.
And that is honestly the truth, because when it is something I care about, I will work countless hours and just, I get lost in it. So that you said the key phrase. Otherwise, I would have called you a liar, and I would have thrown you out.
Well, and then I
Out
would have
of
had
your
to
house.
throw down the gauntlet. We'd have to meet up back with swords.
Yeah.
I'm glad you were right.
Yeah.
And you
And
don't
have a
want 2
wizard's
Slytherins
duel.
to get mad
I'm
at
not
each other, because that
experienced.
could be
Wait, what's up?
2 Slytherins going at it. I mean,
Oh, gosh.
that would be terrible. A Gryffindor would probably have to come to the rescue and set things right.
So, any questions about your numbers, Joe?
Well, I think there's a lot of things there. I think my bosses would agree with you. I think a lot of people I work with would agree with you on many of those things. I think I agree with you. And it's interesting to hear it put into those terms. And then I go, oh, yeah, it does sort of fit those guidelines, I think.
So let's look at how these numbers interact with each other. So
Let's get them in there together and let them
Okay. Please.
interact a little.
What do
Yeah.
So looking at the life path between the two of you, you are going to tend to be Joe, you are going to tend to be much more of a visionary.
I like that sound of that.
Laura is going to be much more the pragmatist.
Oh, interesting.
Really?
He's going to go, let's do a podcast in Paris.
See, I feel like I'm always the one doing that, and you're always the one shooting me down.
But Saul said it that if I cared about the podcast, I would.
Okay. Yeah, that
Right?
makes
Saul,
sense.
I mean, you said it.
Well, again, this is generally what the numbers are. We all exert free will, right? And we don't always follow the vibrations that we are. And so when you hit a disagreement on any one of these things, right? And no reason why you shouldn't. Look at are you not that way because you've chosen not to be that way, or that you're naturally not that way? That's hard to tell. But it's worth thinking about. Because what I'll find is a lot of times people are working against what their nature is. And that indoctrination can be very deep. It starts when you're a kid, someone going, don't think like that.
Well, when I was a kid, I remember, and this is related to that, where I remember coloring the coloring book and going outside of the lines and kind of liking going outside of the lines. And then I did have that. Someone slapped my hand.
Who slapped your hand?
And I think it was my kindergarten teacher.
Who is she?
I remember drawing an octopus, the page was an octopus, going outside the lines, and then, she wrote in red pen, like, you need to stay in the lines. And that was an example of someone telling me how to live. Because certain forms of, and I think I was always told, like, oh, you're bad at art, your handwriting's sloppy, this. But maybe the style of art that I was meant to do was not
just a mess.
Your convention. It was a mess. It was ugly.
It was just
and
ugly
stupid.
and bad, and everyone would hate it.
And bad art. But I think I think that's kind of what you're saying too, where sometimes I feel like people do try to put you in a box, and you're like, I don't want to be in your box, man.
Well,
moving on to the expression numbers, you both have the expression number of 9. Very community facing, very outwardly philanthropic, right? Which means the two of you really would make fantastic spokespeople. You should be doing ads as soon as possible.
we would love to do ads.
Yep.
Speaking of,
Denny's, get at us.
come on, get at us.
Yeah.
DM.
You got to
us.
start somewhere.
Yeah.
So the soul urge number for the two of you, and that's again is that sort of inner voice. Yours is a 3, always about creation, always about innovation. Yours is that 11.
I'm an 11. Honored.
Which means that you naturally tend toward collaboration and connection, but you're going to do a lot of stuff the hard way.
But there's people here for you, okay?
Yeah.
So remember that.
Yeah.
People who also like to create.
It's true.
So,
Number 3.
Yeah, there's not any unusual vibration, but you are both sort of pointed in different directions where you are going to be a little more fluid in those situations. He may get more stuck from time to time as he sort of circles.
Just got to give
where
him a
he
little
needs
nudge.
to be. Well, he could use that nudge from time to time.
I'm here to push you.
Could use it.
He actually could.
Thank you.
But when you run into those disconnects, it's not that he's trying to be contrary.
No.
I think he is
And that's what I've been
but,
saying.
Well, okay.
It's just
Thank you.
It's just he can't see things the same way
Same
you do.
way. And that's what I was going to say, too.
Okay.
So
Joe.
I wish I could, but,
You can't.
remember, I would like a nudge from time to time.
I'm glad you said that.
But a nudge is the key word Saul used. And that doesn't mean too much more than a nudge. We're not talking about a push. We're talking about a nudge, like a nice little nudge.
I know what it means.
That's what he said. Okay?
Well, and often the best kind of nudge is just pointing out to people that there's a different perspective.
That's the
there's
best
other
kind of...
people here
But that's
with other
see,
thoughts
you're getting into not
besides
nudge
yours.
territory. The anger is outside of nudge, as he said it nicely.
Okay, well, if he had to be around you as much as I do,
I think he'd be very calm. He's grounded.
Okay.
Okay.
So the personality number between the two of you, again, that's sort of the inside of the face there. Yours is very much about home and nurturing and growing that sacred space. And yours is much more about what lies underneath it all.
Yes, I'm a dig deeper.
You're going to be tending to look at things that are like what you feel and what matters for the home front, where you're going to be a little bit more, well, but what if?
I'm a what if.
Right?
So this is a red flag, and we should not
a
be
red
friends.
flag.
Well,
It's not a
don't
red
know if
flag.
that's
Stop looking for reasons to not be my best friend.
But it is an area of difference that you need to be conscious of.
conscious.
So when you know that there's an area where there's conflict and conflict arises, you can look and go, okay, well, is this really an issue? Or are our energies just clashing and we need to find the jazz chord?
Like, for example, like my
this.
dog is my family.
Oh,
okay?
yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
And I love him.
Yep.
And you hate him.
Well.
And so you need to be conscious of that, of how protective I am of my clan.
I think.
And not hate my dog.
I believe you could nudge. Just a little nudge. Just a tiny little.
You want to nudge my dog?
No, I want you to nudge me and say, hey.
He just wants a pet.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Can you be nicer about my pet? And then I'll be like, okay, cool. Right?
I don't want you to be nicer about him. I want you to love him as much as I love him.
Well, and that's going to be a source of conflict. The numbers said, don't force. It's got to be a nudge.
Well, open your heart is all I'm saying. Just look in those big brown eyes and open your heart.
This is aggressive.
So where the free will comes into play is you get to choose whether or not you're going to make these divisive issues that separate, or if you're going to respect each other's perspectives and appreciate that you will never fully experience what the other person does. And that's okay.
People do see things differently. But let's not fight.
Let's not fight. That's a good message.
Yeah.
Have we looked at all of our numbers?
So the last number is the birthday number.
Oh, the birthday number.
You have that 11 there.
The 11. Yep.
Which he experiences in a different way. So he
Thank
gets
you.
it, but it's,
It's just a different level. It's
in
a
a
higher
different-
level.
Well,
different
it's just it's a different place, but at the same level.
It's a sort of different jazz scat.
and you've got that 8 there. So you do have a
Now,
resonance.
8's my life path number.
8 is your life path. So he's got a connection with how you see things, but it comes at it from a different angle.
And we are very similar in many ways, and we're very different in many ways.
And there are conflicts that arise when we see things from different perspectives.
That's true. I think the good thing about us is we're the kind of people who can get annoyed with each other and mad at each other and then be fine and move on from it. A lot of people have a hard time just letting go of being mad and angry, and I'm kind of like, whatever. I just get over it really quickly.
Right.
And I think you're similar like that.
What would happen if the whole world decided to do that?
It would be great, wouldn't it? I'd love that.
How do we force people to do that?
Maybe we could do some kind of
You can't force
hypnosis.
people to do anything.
How do we nudge them, Saul?
So next we're going to look at our hands, right?
All right, so let's just take a quick look at your
So
hand. I'm
let's
mainly
take
going to look at your energies,
Okay.
your elemental
Well, we're going to take a
energies.
quick break,
All right.
and then when we get back, we're going to look
that.
at our hands. I've looked at mine many times. They're very wrinkly.
How about you, Joe? Have you looked at your hands many times?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. All right, we'll be right back.
Okay.
Hey, listeners, we're back, but we're not really back. This is Joe and Laura from the future. I know you've heard from us before, and we have some unexpected news. We're not coming back from break.
Yeah. Remember when we said that a second ago?
We're not. Something
not.
crazy happened
Oh
during
my
the
gosh.
break.
You know what happened?
What?
We realized it was very long.
Yeah, it was really long.
And we still needed to look at our hands.
Yeah, we still got to look at our hands, and we got to look at the cards and see what's in store for us. So we will be actually back next week with the second half of this episode.
That's what we call a cliffhanger, because you're like, wait, what do their hands look like? I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah. If you go to our Instagram, which is @heavyfriending, you can see a picture of our hands. We'll show you our palms, and maybe some of you out there could analyze what you think is going on, and we'll compare it to Saul's analysis for next week.
That's fun.
Yeah. Also, you can visit us at patreon.com/heavyfriending for some special bonus content. Why don't you tell them what it is, Joe?
Well, I feel like I forgot what it is. Oh, wait, I remembered now.
Great.
It's with Saul.
Yeah.
He grounds us.
Yes.
Like, he's like, go to your room. You're grounded.
Yeah. Well, he's more like, go to your room. You're grounded.
Is that
sound
your
like
Saul impression?
Yeah. It's not great, but
You
know.
can work on it. Maybe by next episode.
Okay.
Tune in. Laura might have a better impression.
I think it's going to be good next episode. Yeah.
So yeah, he grounds us, and it's actually, you can get grounded too,
Yes.
which is like about our feet connecting with the earth or something.
And then we turn into trees, I think.
Yeah, he just talks in his soothing Saul way.
That you've been hearing for this whole episode.
Mr. Ravencraft, if you're nasty.
If you're nasty. Okay, so yeah, patreon.com/heavyfriending to get that special bonus content. You can pledge any amount of money and we'll send it your way. And this is something you can play in the car, and something when you're stressed out to just kind of center you.
You could play it every night and go to sleep to Saul. It's like sleeping next to Saul Ravencraft. And that's what you want.
Okay, great. So we'll see you guys next week for the next half, the startling conclusion
Whoa.
of
The
the psychic
Psychic.
reading.
Bye. Okay, bye.
Bye.